So I'm just going to run through this as quickly as possible, and hopefully I won't miss anything. What happened last week, Patreon took off Sargon of Akkad from his service. They just kind of banned his page, didn't even send him an email, didn't even let him know that they were cutting his service. And if you don't know, Patreon's like a donation, like payment processor kind of organization that works specifically for like content creators to get donations. And they took him down, and it seemed pretty dang ideological. Like, there was no reason, there was no real reason as to why. Like, they gave a supposed reason, but clearly from what they've said in the past and how it works for their terms of service, this was a real reach. Like, this wasn't something that was quite clearly a breach of terms of service. It seemed rather ideologically motivated. So what happened was he moved to a new platform called Subscribestar, and it seems like a pretty good platform. They've been around for about a year. They've overall, like, they're pretty well established as a business. And they take all kinds of different payments. They take PayPal. They take all the, like, the Visa, MasterCard, all those. They take all kinds of different payments. So they seem pretty well established. Except what happened this week was, except what happened actually just yesterday, or within the last 24 hours, was PayPal decided to pull out and cut their terms of service, or cut their service with Subscribestar. So you can no longer, as someone on Subscribestar, you can no longer send or receive payments with PayPal. And this is definitely ideologically motivated, because, like, it just seems that the timing is too odd. We know that PayPal has gone after people in the past. We know that they've said, like, hey, we're cutting your service, and it seems to be disproportionately, like, political figures, generally on the right, or at least accused of being on the right, I should say. But yeah, it just so happened that right when Subscribestar was getting, like, Subscribestar went from being barely known by anyone at all to a pretty popular, like, well-known organization within at least, like, the alternative media groups. Everyone was jumping to them. You had people like Jordan Peterson, they were jumping to that platform. All these people were jumping ship from Patreon, or at least having both accounts. And yeah, PayPal decides to pull out just today, or just yesterday, within the last 24 hours. It's like, huh, isn't that rather interesting? But if you notice what I have right here, this is Subscribestar's page, and this is something they posted. They said, "Dear friends, we are here now not to tell you that we are sorry, but they made us shut our shop down, and now we are going to cry ourselves to sleep goodbye. Just the opposite. We are fighting back and integrating new, unbiased, and predictable processors that will allow us to grow with you. This takes time. We estimate anywhere between 2 and 3 weeks from start to finish. This may require us to extensively travel across the globe for the best possible solution. Stars, you have to know, all your money was successfully rescued from the PayPal and will be paid out to you in a timely manner. We had less luck with Stripe, but it all manageable." Now, forgive like the kind of broken English. I'm pretty sure the company is Russian, so I imagine this was put through a translator. "Subscribers, we temporarily paused accepting new subscribers, as well as new donations and tips. All previously contributions are safe and will be distributed to corresponding stars properly. Thank you for your patience and understanding. Our team is working tirelessly for all of us being able to secure our future without fear of being bullied by the crooks in corporate suits and their subservient weasels. We are online and will stay so. We wish you the same. Talk to you soon. Truly your Subscribestar team." Now, I did a video about, probably less than a week ago, but back when this all happened, I went through, Subscribestar and said, like, here's their terms of service. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. A lot of people were a bit less optimistic than me. I was generally kind of optimistic more because it wasn't ideal, but it was the best, kind of based on the choices we had. They had some things in their terms of service that are certainly questionable. I'll leave that video in the description if you're interested. Like, the second half is just me showing the issues with the terms of service. And they have things like they'll ban you for being, for any immoral purpose, which again, immoral, like, how are they defining immoral? They can pretty much say, oh, we consider this immoral, banned. So stuff like that kind of concerned me. However, I like the fact that they describe themselves as unbiased. Like, they didn't just put, yeah, like, we're unbiased. They actually, like, advertised that on their main page as unbiased. So they were after this kind of target audience. And I do appreciate, as well, how, looking at this, like, look at the last paragraph, or the second to last paragraph, I guess. They say, "Our team is working tirelessly for all of us being able to secure our future without fear of being bullied by the crooks in corporate suits and their subservient weasels." Now, generally, I thought Subscribestar was generally non-ideological because they didn't have any of the buzzwords. Like, if you read their terms of service, if you read their advertisements, there are no buzzwords that give away whether they're like left or right or what they are. So I figured like, okay, I don't care if an organization is right wing. I just want them not to be ideologically left and start purging people. Now, as you see, big companies like PayPal seem to be doing, they seem to be doing it for ideological reasons, or at least because they're under pressure from ideological groups. But I like this, that they've come out in a sense, obviously, like they're motivated by kind of like a personal morality here. They're talking about crooks in corporate suits and their subservient weasels. They're talking about being bullied. So I appreciate that. Like, I don't know what their ideology is, and frankly, I don't care. But those are the kind of words I like to see in a company that I want to trust with not kicking me off for ideological reasons. So this is absolutely fantastic. This is something I very much appreciate, and I have now more confidence in them than I used to. Again, I don't know too much about the organization. Most people only heard of them like a week ago. I know I only heard of them probably about like 2 days before Sargon got a Subscribestar account. So this is all pretty much new to me. We don't know if they're going to turn on us, or if they're going to turn on someone, or if they're going to be eventually infested by people that are going to start purging accounts. But all we can say at the moment is they seem to be doing pretty dang good, and here, like, they got kicked off of PayPal. They've only been with PayPal for like 6 months. Back when I believe it was July 6th, they posted, hey, we're now accepting PayPal. And 6 months later, now they're being kicked off. And like they said, instead of just bowing down, they stood up and said, no, we're backing these people. And to me, that is absolutely fantastic. That is what we want to see. So good on them. Good on them. I think Subscribestar might be a great organization to really back. And remember that a lot of these big companies like Patreon, a lot of the big ones that, like PayPal, for example, they're losing money when they cut ties with Subscribestar because they're not getting the little fees from their payment processor. They're losing customers. But the thing is, they have so much money that what's the alternative media political community going to cost them? It's a drop in the bucket. It's practically nothing. Like, they didn't even notice the loss in revenue. It's so minor. And that's why they can afford to do this. That's why they can start cutting people, because they have so many customers that, like, who's going to, like, what's the worst that's going to happen when they cut 0.01% of their followers or of their customer base? It's really not going to affect them too much. Whereas Subscribestar, remember that for every person that uses Subscribestar for, like, I guess, like a political channel or even just some kind of controversial channel, for any group, like if you put out controversial stuff at all, if you're using Subscribestar, remember that that is a greater proportion of their base that they can't afford to lose if they start purging people. So that's just something to keep in mind, that not only do you want them, you can't just expect them to be moral. We can hope that they make the moral choice or like the principled stance, but you can't expect that. It's a company. They have no obligation to host anyone, and I believe that. Like, if they want to kick people off, it's fine. I'm just going to say, dang, I'm really disappointed, and I'm really disappointed in the company. But if they're backing these people, that's fantastic. Like, that makes me really love the company. And remember, if you want that financial incentive, the more people you get on there that will eventually be that would likely be purged, the more or the less profitable or the less beneficial it is for them to start purging people like that. So this is good on them. Like, I'm as much as I'm unhappy at what PayPal has done, I think this is not even a net benefit, but overall I am like a net happy. Like, this overall has made me more happy than sad, because I have seen Subscribestar, as we can see right here, coming out in defense of their unpopular users. So I appreciate, like, I greatly appreciate that. I think this was their first test. Like, better to get it out of the way now. We didn't know if Subscribestar was going to fold as soon as they had pressure, but they just lost PayPal. Like, they just lost PayPal. That's going to cost them, like, that's definitely a kick in the ribs there. And they stood up. They were like, sure. And it looks like they said they had less luck with Stripe. I'm not sure if Stripe quit from them too. I couldn't find anything that said Stripe also backed down, but if they did, again, that's another big company, like another big Silicon Valley company that they were hurt by. So in the end, like, good for them. Kudos to them for exceeding expectations, because I was optimistic about it, we'll say. Like, I wasn't confident, but I was optimistic, and now I am confident, because they seem to be doing pretty dang good. So let me know what you think in the comments section. Let me know what you think of Subscribestar now. Does this convince you? Are you still skeptical? Like, again, this is, I'm not 100% confident that they're not gonna like purge people in the future, but I've gone from being like 51% confident to like 85% confident. We'll say something like that. So I appreciate that. But like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and thanks for watching.